lot of challenges, and especially today in California, because there's a major shortage of teachers, which means there's going to be a lot more substitutes in the classroom taking over what regular teachers would be doing. Two issues, I think, come up when it comes to managing groups. The first one is just the challenge for control. And the other is how to create accountability. Since the sub has no control over how a room is set up prior to coming in, or there's little knowledge of what experience the students may or may not have had. So here's some ideas that you can use that should increase engagement. The first is to give roles. And there's some specific ones I'll mention. One is facilitator. Facilitator can be in charge of making sure that people are on task. Another is a recorder. Whatever the assignment may be, choose one person with the best handwriting. Another one is a researcher, which is particularly appropriate if it's a reading assignment. And then if the project happens to have some art or creative aspect, you could have a designer. And the last one would be your reporter. Another thing you can do to create greater management of groups is to assign group rules. The first one is everyone must participate. Number two, everyone is willing to help other members in the group. Three, and maybe one of the most important ones, is no put-downs. And the last one that can save you, the sub, a lot of time and energy is that if one member of the group has a question, they can't ask you until they've asked everyone in the group. One of the things you can do, and I recommend it, because you really don't know unless you have some prior contact with that classroom or the regular teacher, how skilled the students are in managing groups, is to start out with partners. And if they're sitting at tables, that's an easy thing. So why would you do that? For one reason, it reduces the amount of opportunity to disengage. And when you give partner work, you can set it up in a way that students are far more active. And that gets to the role of the teacher. You need to move around the classroom and give feedback, okay? So let me talk briefly about dyads or pairs. There are two kinds of tasks that you can give students. And one of them is a one-way task. And those are the most common, and that means that both partners have the same material. Two-way tasks, which increase engagement, is that partner A has one part and partner B has the other part. And it's relatively easy to do if you're a sub. You simply give them, for instance, questions 1 through 8, and then the other partner does 9 through 14, and then they share their answers and maybe come up with whatever the regular teacher has assigned. This is very helpful. I would encourage you to try two-way tasks and see how that works. As to if you have groups and as you're moving around, they're not functioning very well, feel free to just bring them out of groups and maybe have a quick whole class discussion about what's going on and why it's not working, and what the goal for the day is to get through the material and to remind students of that. One of the things you can do in pairs that really helps any level of student in any subject area, and that is think, pair, share. The first thing you do is pose a question related to the lesson plan or the subject. The second thing is that everyone is instructed not to talk, to think about the answer and jot down some possible responses. Then students pair up and share with each other their answers. And then you can go around the room and get volunteers to come up with what it is that each partner has arrived at. And this could lead to lots of good discussions. The benefits of Think, Pair, Share. First of all, it creates wait time, which is important because it's easy to very quickly move on and you don't give the student the time that they need to think. And the second and last thing, which I think is really important, is that it gives you the benefit of being usable in any subject area. Now, I'd like to show you a book that I've co-authored. It's called Make a Difference in a Day, a pocket-size handbook for beginning and substitute teachers. And in it, you will find a section dealing specifically with managing groups and talking about different kinds of groups. Also, please check out our website, which is www.substituteteacherhandbook.org. And we do offer a free set of suggestions for increasing motivation in the classroom.